Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter what time it is out there. It's us again with another episode of our FPL Kopikakis chat. All right, it's me here and my brother Tafran, Taffy. Okay, unfortunately, we're missing one brother who has a family emergency at the moment. We wish him all the best. There's a lot of things to talk about, and we are going to learn a little bit more about it. But
Yes.
before we begin, right, some people are talking about, hey, our global rankings are somewhat fantastic. It's a very,
Yes.
yeah. In case people don't know, the smaller the number, the better. Lah.
Mhm.
Uh,
It's
I'm
not
right
like
now at
golf.
about two
Yeah.
million.
2 million. Okay, let's not show everybody the our positions. As you know, sometimes it all depends on a bit of luck. But I
Mm,
think what we do in this video is that we go by feeling, we go by gut feeling, and we do some research and we do some data before we recommend you our we recommend you our choices, but it's based on sound data. So sometimes we don't take the problem is sometimes we don't take our own advice,
mm.
and we are a step behind uh, what what we actually should be doing. But we do give you our very best, and it's local advice. So sometimes it's good to hear from the locals.
Yeah, and besides, before we get around too far, we are just a couple of blokes enjoying ourselves, talking about something that we really enjoy. At the end of the day, sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong, but it's all in the name of good fun. All right. So
Yes,
at the same time, we try and bring you the most up to date and the most accurate information based on what we know at that point in time, so that we can try and help you out in the journey
Mhm,
as we are even learning ourselves.
mhm.
All right, so this week we are going to be talking about the chip strategy because
Yeah,
the
this is the
manager's chips.
most yeah, this is the most important video that you will see this season. Okay, because what we will have here is about all your chips, how to use your chips, when to use your chips, what week it is to use your chips.
Mm,
Okay, and what I have done or what we have done is that we have taken a look at all the different game weeks, all the different scenarios, what can happen, what may happen, but of course these are all predicted, so things may change along the way, but as of now, this is the best information that we can give, and we have summarized it so much that even my 7-year-old nephew should be able to understand when to use the chip and
mm,
how to use the chip.
mm. And I think this is very good information, especially for people who are new to this. But even for those who have been using it for some time, sometimes we don't really consider how we use this. And the most important thing is that the manager's chips, okay, the price of the manager's chips have already been revealed, and these are the prices here. Okay, look at the screen, right? And you can see obviously some of the managers that are doing much better ahead, and they are much more expensive compared to the managers that are not as in the teams that are not performing as well at the moment. Like for example, there's a mystery manager below, a
Yes, and that
familiar
is
name,
from
a familiar
that
name is
is
returning.
yes, that is from my none other than Everton. You can see at that point of price there was doesn't matter who we got, and the price is still is going to be 0.5. Okay, so it's
Mm,
David Moyes. David Moyes is back at Everton. Harry
mm,
and not Harry Potter. Graham Potter is at
mm,
West Ham. Okay,
mm,
and I dedicate my cap today to David Moyes because the chosen one. All right, not the special one, not Mourinho, but the chosen one, and that is David Moyes. Hopefully, he can
mm.
get us out of trouble. And it's also dedicated to my friend Stanley out there.
Oh, I see. Okay, so that's a private shout out there. David Moyes there trying to be like Undertaker from wrestling. Keep coming back. We shall see how he does. Okay, so moving on. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the blank and double game weeks. Now, the Liverpool and Everton game was actually postponed early on, so which is why there is likelihood of a double game week in either game week 24 or game week 25, which is where we might want to consider loading up on either one of these teams' players. If you really have a lot of faith, Everton players. If not, I think a lot of you will be banging on especially thinking about triple captaining some of the Liverpool players. That's a potential that we will talk about a bit later. Game week 29, there's likely to be quite a number of blanks because of the final of the EFL Carabao Cup, which means that there will be at least four teams that's going to be affected, and therefore there will be some blanks there. You might want to consider what strategy you want to use. Game week 33 and game week 36, you have free midweek for some of the double games to be added from the games that we couldn't play due to the Carabao Cup. So, which is why these weeks might be the weeks that you might want to save some
Mm.
of your points. We'll talk about the strategies again in a short
Yeah.
while. And
Yeah.
like I
I
said,
would
game
just
week. Mm,
sorry, I would just like to add for game week 33 and game week 36. There
mm,
are potential double game weeks. Game week 33 is what I call for some double games. So it's a smaller double game week. But
mm,
game week 36 is the bigger double game week. So we
that's
have
right.
more teams that are going to have double game weeks in game week
Mm,
36. So this is just a
mm.
point to note for later.
Yeah, especially no because game week 34 we are gonna have up to eight teams actually not playing, which is why this is something that we might want to consider before you bring in some of the players, and whether or not you might want to consider free hits etc. during those game weeks. So since there's so many possibilities, we gotta look at a few strategies, a few suggestions, and I think Tefi has a few ideas. Okay, so let's look at the first strategy.
All right, so this is chip strategy A. Okay, so this is my favorite. Okay, this is my favorite, and based on the research that we have done, many FPL managers out there are going with this chip strategy. So firstly, we are assuming that you have still have all your chips, all right, and then you have not used all any of your chips. So that's why sometimes for those newcomers, right, that's why we hold our chips right to the end, because this is where you get a lot of things happening about cancellations, about double game weeks and things like that. Okay, so first thing to take note of is this game week 24 or 25. This is where you get Everton and Liverpool having double games. So this is where a potential triple captain can be, and we usually would say that we use the chip on Mo Salah. So triple captain here on game week 24 or 25, depending on where they add in the Liverpool Everton extra game.
Mm,
Next comes your wild card. So those of you who have not used your second wild card,
mm,
the best time to use is for game week 30. Now, so what happens to game week 29 when there are four teams that are not playing? So you must slowly start to adjust your team to exclude these teams. Okay, and then at game week 30, you can redo your whole team again using your wildcard. So that's a potential place to use your wildcard chip. Now, game week 31 to 33. So this is the assistant manager chip. So this is where we expect to use our assistant manager chip from game week 31 to game week 33, because game week 33 has that mid-size double game week opportunity
yeah.
for your assistant manager to get most of his points. All right. So that is the thing. So be careful again where you put your assistant manager chip, because it goes on 3 weeks in a row, 3 game weeks
Mm,
in a row, 31, 32, 33. Once
mhm,
this assistant manager chip is active, you cannot have a triple captain, you cannot have a bench boost. So be aware of this chip when you are using it. So the best highlight is the best option is to use it on game week 31 to 33, because there is a double game week at game week 33.
mhm,
All right, so I hope that makes sense. Now, once you reach game week 34, now this is where you have a lot of blanks, up
mm.
to maybe about 8 teams that are not playing. So here is where we suggest you use your free hit so that
Free
your
hit,
team
yeah.
can go back to normal at game week 35. Okay, so game week 34, where there are very few teams playing, this is where we suggest that you use your free hit to be selective to only those teams that are playing at that point in time. We do not know what are the teams yet, because it depends on the FA Cup semi-finals.
Yeah.
And finally, for the major game week, double teams, you can use your bench boost, and that's where we recommend that you use your bench boost here.
Mm.
Game week 36, where you have a lot of double gamers that have missed out at game week 35, they are all coming in at this game week 36.
Mhm.
Again, this is not official, but this is the predicted, because this is the only place where they can basically fit in the games that they have missed in 34. All the other
Because of
games,
the free
why not
midweek.
37? Yeah, why not 37? Why not 38? Is because um they have like European Cup finals,
Mm.
Champions League games, and things like that.
Mm.
So this is where it is predicted by many pundits that this is
Mm.
where it is meant to be. So this is strategy A,
Okay.
where you can use it. Those of you who are watching, you can take a picture or take a screenshot, and for you to analyze it a bit further. But this is the
Uh,
best strategies. This is the best strategy so far.
okay, if that's the
So
case, then what's the difference in strategy B, C, and so on and so forth? I want to know what is the what do you call differential. Okay, so let's look at
okay,
B. Okay, this is
okay.
B. Mm.
Yeah. So for
Because you use
strategy,
the manager
yeah,
chip earlier.
yeah. So for strategy B is where you use your assistant manager chip first. So you can only start using it on game week 24.
Mm-hmm.
So to again to take advantage of that double game week, your assistant manager can be on game week 24
Mm.
um or 25. So it will last 24, 25, 26. Now what this does is that you can do your triple captain at the double game week.
Mm.
33. This allow you to use your triple captain, not just on Mo Salah, but maybe you want to, because there are more teams that are doing having double game weeks, right? Besides just Liverpool and
Mm.
Everton. So this allows you to use your triple captain on more teams lah. That means it's not just Mo Salah. Maybe you want to do it on Isak. Maybe, you know,
Mm.
um, you or Haaland or whatever it is.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay, so I see the bench boost is still kept for the end.
yeah,
The free hit is still the same because of the
right.
sheer number of teams. So the main difference here is to use the assistant manager early. So why
Mm.
use it early rather than the middle? Why the triple captain here? Why not a triple
Okay.
captain? Mm.
Mm. So why is it early? Is because this system manager is very tricky, right? It lasts 3 weeks, right?
3 weeks. Mm.
So where you put is very important. You
Mm.
know what I mean? So you cannot
Yeah.
just like say, oh, okay, lah, I just want to do it on game week 26. Then it affects your game week 29. Then
Mm.
it affects your 30, it affects your
Yeah.
31. So it spans out, you see. So this assistant manager chip is you got to be very careful where you place it.
So I'm guessing you're intending to put the assistant manager chip in a week with a double game week so that you can maximize the points return from the
Exactly.
manager lah. So it's
Exactly.
either
Same with
on. Mm.
yes, same with triple captain, and same with bench boost. So
Mm.
the different strategy is just about moving these chips where you will want them during
Mm.
the advantage, and you shouldn't want it when there are no games that are being played.
Okay, so this is B. Okay, looking at C.
Yeah. So
So
for
what's
game
the
week
main
C,
difference here? Yeah.
uh, okay. So C, the main difference is the free hit. I'm putting a game week 29 instead
Mm-hmm.
of game week was that instead of game week 34.
Mm.
So here I'm moving the free hit at game week 29 in case you do not want to adjust your team, and then you
Mm.
play your free hit on 29, and then
Mm.
you save your wild card only at 34. That means here is your option where you do not need you're quite happy with your team. You do not want to change your team so much. You're happy with,
Mm-hmm.
you're earning already maximum points at this point in time. There is no reason
Mm.
to wild. You may
Mm.
want to use your free hit first on 29, and
Okay.
then only bring in your wildcard much later when you see that there is a need to. So that is the only difference.
Okay, okay, I get it now. So in other words, you use your wild card when you want to respect your team in time for game week
Mm.
35, and then the
Y-
multiple double game weeks in game week 36.
That's right. This is for where managers are already very happy with their team. So
Yeah, so
there's nothing to change at this point in time.
teams that are providing good returns. How about D then?
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
for D is the final one where I finally moved the bench boost to game week 33 and the assistant manager chip right to the end to game week 36.
Mm.
So this is again depends on individual strategy. That if you want the bench boost and you feel that the assistant manager chip will give you more points than the bench boost. So here
Mm.
is where you want to be different from the others and where you think that this is a chance for you to really catch up 50, 60 points with your
Mm.
next opponent in front of you.
Mm.
And this is where you think your assistant manager chip will be more useful to you right at the end as
Mm.
compared to in the middle or in the beginning
Right.
because there are more teams that are playing double games at game week 36.
So this is otherwise known as gambler's choice. Because
Yes, correct.
high risk of
High risk,
possibility.
greater returns.
Yeah, greater returns. Not so much the risk, but it's greater returns if your gamble is on the right players and is on the right manager. Okay,
Right.
okay. So here we have it, right? So just to go through it again once more, very quickly. I'm just going to show. So this is D, where you have the bench boost earlier. Then this is C, where you actually have your free hit on game week 29 instead. And then after that, B, when you have the triple captain in the middle game week here, and you use your assistant manager chip early. And
Mm,
our first suggestion, and the suggestion that is used by more of the fantasy football managers, at least those
mm,
that we speak to, those that
mm,
we know of, are using a lot of this strategy because this is the one that seems to make the most sense. So the rest are more
right,
differentials, right?
right, right. Correct.
It also depends on your how risk averse you are.
Yeah.
And finally, to wrap up,
So in summary, um, to make it as simple as possible, you have positive game weeks and you have negative game weeks. So positive game weeks are those that are potential doubles. So 24, 25, 36, 33, and 36. So these are
mm,
potential doubles. So at your potential double game weeks, you use your positive chips. So those are your bench boost, triple captain, assistant manager.
mm,
Only thing is that don't forget your assistant manager lasts for 3 weeks. Okay, so these are the game weeks
you're trying to
that
get
you
the
should
most
be
number of
using.
points.
Yeah, correct. And this is where you use your positive chips. All right.
Whereas the
Um,
negative weeks, you're
and then
trying to
for your
reduce
negative weeks, yes, when your negative weeks, this is where your free
cutting your
hit comes in
loss.
and
Yeah.
your wildcard comes in
Mm.
to get maximum points from your negative game weeks. So in summary, this is the best way I can. How you move your chips around is really entirely up to you, you know. And this is just the advice lah, that you use your positive chips for positive game weeks, and when you have negative game weeks you use your free hit and wildcard to maneuver those difficult weeks. So
Yeah.
that is the best summary, and again all
Yeah.
these things are predicted,
Correct.
but
Mm.
most likely it's going to happen.
Mm. And if we don't have the right strategy, what happens is game week 29, game week 34, we just can't, we end up weathering the storms. In other words, we will be the team that doesn't have a good number of points for those 2 game weeks. When on the other
Yeah,
hand,
you may.
the gambler's choice people will be making up points and making up places
Mm,
during these two
right.
game weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a caveat that don't forget these chips cannot be used together.
Mm,
So that's why a strategy needs to be in place
mm,
when you need to use it. You don't want to be having your assistant manager chip active and then you cannot triple captain. You know what I mean?
mm,
Or your assistant manager chip is active during game week 29. That's what
yeah.
you don't want. Okay,
Yeah.
especially if your assistant manager chip is active during game week 34. You
Yeah.
cannot free hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do not have your assistant manager chip being active during game week 29 or 34.
Mm.
Okay, I may laugh now, I may end up doing it. So yeah, so please don't panic. If you miss one game week, don't just say, okay, never mind, I activate it in the next game week. Don't forget where it ends up. So if it ends up in 34, it ends up in 29, you are in trouble, because you cannot use your free hit. So just be
Yeah.
aware of that. Yeah.
Oh, but then again, you gotta remember there are also those that end up finishing the season without finishing up their chips. So
Yeah.
those are
That's
those are
true.
even sadder because when they reach the end, they
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I got not enough time to use them."
Yeah.
So that's why, despite the fact that we know that everybody is actually trying to figure out the best strategy, uh,
Mm.
figure out what works best for you. So amongst the options that we gave you, just choose the one that fits best, and then all the best for the upcoming game weeks. Okay, so
All right. So leave your
signing off.
comments
Mhm.
below if there's
Let us
anything that
know
we
if
can
you.
answer you or we can help. Do let us know in the comments. Do like, share, and subscribe. It will help the channel a great deal. Thank you very much.